Hi, all. Welcome to yet another Koot podcast series where we discuss global tech adoption trends, global SaaS adoption trends with global industry leaders. And today we have a very special guest with us, Ms. Archana Dikshit, who leads the global head of data science and AI at Mobili Sites, which is a division at Stellantis. She is also the director of data science at Stellantis. She comes with more than 17 years of experience, a plethora of experience in AI, Gen AI, data science. Whenever I meet Archana, I get that feeling that she really advocates for the responsive AI. We keep talking about, eco-friendly designs and ideas. So that is something I really admire and I really like conversing and, talking to her. Welcome, Archana. Thank you so much for taking out time for all of us. I'm really looking forward to learn a lot of insights and a lot of strategies from you, Archana. Welcome to our podcast.
Thank you, Nageshwari. I'm truly delighted to be here. Thank you so much for having me. Looking forward to our conversation.
Absolutely, Archana. Same here. So you come from wide experience in the machine learning and Gen AI and predictive analysis. So I think currently you are at Stellantis, right? That is rightly. So could you tell your current role about Stellantis, Archana?
Sure. So, Nageshwari, I do not know how many of your viewers are aware of this organization called Stellantis. We are an automotive organization. We are manufacturing cars, connected cars, I would say. Um, so, Stellantis word comes from Stello, basically constellation of star.
Okay.
We have 14 different stars or brands under this umbrella. You must have seen brands like Jeep, Citroën, Fiat, which are very
Yeah.
popular here in Indian roads. But other than these three, we also have more brands under our umbrella. There are total 14 brands. We are talking about over 80 models and then millions of vehicles as part of the fleet. So it's a big, a complex pipeline that we have put in place in order to manufacture these vehicles and have connectivity in place for all of them. Within Stellantis, there is a data as a unit called Mobili Sites.
Yeah.
Mobili Sites name is driven from mobility plus insights. So
Insights.
we are the data unit of Stellantis. We are
Sure.
responsible for taking this connected car data
Yeah.
and translating that data into meaningful insights for our customers and be able to help our B2B customers in their
Yeah.
journey. So this is what we do.
No, absolutely interesting. Archana, so you told a very, this Stellantis, to be frank, even I didn't know much about Stellantis. I had to Google a lot and to come to understand about it. So that's your current role. And I think now you're into Mobili Sites, which is the division. So you are the global head. So which are the different markets that it is catering to, Archana?
So Mobile Sites is basically it is primarily in Europe and North America at the
Yeah.
moment, Nageshwari. So we are having our commercial presence in both these regions, but
Okay.
our team is global. Our teams are in Europe, they are in the USA, and we are also here. We are also present here in India. So our
Yeah.
teams are global, but we are commercially present in both Europe and North America at the moment.
Super, super. And Archana, now you have a dual role, right? I mean, you are also the director data science at Stellantis. At the same time, you're the global head at Mobili Sites. So, could you tell how are you balancing these two roles, and what were the initial challenges, Archana?
Sure. So my role is basically within mobile site. So I would say it's not really about dual role between different business units,
Okay, okay,
but I am handling data science and AI team as well as SRE. So I lead both the teams within mobile sites group. So it's more about dual leadership within two different functions than two different business units, I would say, right?
yeah,
And I'm fortunate to have a team
yeah,
that's really brilliant, and they support me in
yeah,
making sure that I'm able to balance this dual role with
yeah,
ease and with uh, potential power to this role. And I'm also supported by my leadership
yeah.
team who are very committed to innovation and trust. So that's how I'm trying to balance these roles. But it's an interesting one because on one hand, we are looking at how we can harness the power of connected car data. On the
Hmm.
other hand, I'm looking at how we can have the system more reliable and more secure while working on SRE aspects of a platform.
Yeah. Sure, Archana. Now, you mentioned about the car data, and, so I was wondering, if you could tell me some of the interesting, AI or the GenAI use cases that you're currently, working on at Stellantis, and also the, initial challenges that you faced, Archana. Yeah.
Sure, Nageshwari, that's a very good question. So infusing AI and ML is not easy at any time because all of this is actually based on the data premise. And if the data is not fully compatible for you to harness the power of machine learning models or build some advanced analytics on top of it, it doesn't really help. So
Yeah.
our primary focus at the moment has been on making sure that we have the right set of data. The data is actually in the right format. It's reliable. It's of the required quality that is needed for our models. So the primary focus is on that. But at the same time, we are also looking at how we can slowly start infusing machine learning and data science and artificial intelligence in our pipelines. So, like I said, I'm responsible for dual roles here. So I'm looking at both the functions as to how we could infuse AI. So
Yeah.
connected car data, there is a lot of scope for us to infuse AI and ML because we are dealing with IoT sensor data. There
Okay.
is a lot for us to do there with respect to how you could translate the connected car data into meaningful insights. Beginning
Hmm.
with predictive maintenance is one, which is very relatable for all of us.
Yeah.
How you could look at the predictive maintenance and then help our fleet operations and fleet managers to be able
Hmm.
to manage their fleets better,
Yeah.
cost effectively, and also optimally. Now, on the other hand, we are looking at site reliability engineering aspect of it, how we
Yeah.
can infuse AI to be able to robustify our platform, be able to make it more reliable and more, uh, let's say, uh, robust in the
Hmm.
sense that it's also seamlessly able to scale at the same time is becoming reliable also, right? So these are the areas we are primarily targeting at the moment, Nageshwari.
Yeah. Sure. Archana, I always had this curiosity. See, I can simply carry my phone, right? Why do I need car data? Why then car needs an IoT? I mean, could you throw some more? I mean, if I on my GPS, GPS, I know where I'm heading towards, right? Why do I need internet in my car?
That's a very good question that you have brought up, Nageshwari. So, uh, I often get this question that how connected car data is different than what I'm able to do with my mobile phone today. So
Yeah.
you get GPS in mobile, you also have
Yeah.
GPS in your car. Obviously, the biggest difference is that car can take you places, unlike mobile, that is there. But if I were to explain more about how connected
Hmm.
car data versus the operations that you could do with mobile.
Yeah.
So mobile data is definitely there, but connected car data is more precise. Let me give you an anecdote, right?
Yeah.
So
I
this
was about to
happened,
ask if you can give me
yeah,
some
yeah,
examples.
sure. So this happened somewhere in Israel, I believe. So they have a specific day wherein everybody is off. They have a national holiday, and they basically go for prayers. And they usually go in a group. So a good cohort and group would basically walk on foot, and
Okay.
they would be able to go there, right? So there were pockets of, let's say, a city wherein, if you looked at mobile, you would see that that complete roadway is basically red.
Okay.
It's completely blocked and choked. But if you look at the road and if you go there and you see there is no vehicle on the road at all, there is no single vehicle in the road. It's
Okay. That's
all people who are walking, and because they are carrying these smartphones, basically smartphone is able to pick that and say that there are too many
okay.
people, maybe the road is actually completely blocked. But if you think about it from transportation and mobility perspective, the
Yeah.
roads are actually vacant. I mean, there is no vehicle on the road, right? If
Got
you
it.
do the same using connected car data, or if connected car data would have been used to look at
Hmm.
traffic there in that
Yeah.
particular roadway, you could have realized that there is no traffic because there is no vehicle on that road at all. People are simply walking on the
Ah.
footpath because they are going as a group, and there are too many people, and that's why it's showing red. So this is one crucial example where you may not get so precise information using your mobile data today
Yeah.
versus what you could get from connected car data.
No, that's an
And
interesting thing. It's an Israel case study. Can we come across in the? It's very common. Can we check it in the Google as well?
yeah. You can look it up. You will be able
Okay.
to find few articles on
Okay.
this,
No,
and
no,
there are plenty
interesting.
of such examples. Uh,
Okay.
you could get few things from mobile, certainly, but the
Hmm.
precision at which you could get it from connected car data is at next level. Let me also give you another example how
Yeah.
connected car data is actually
Yeah.
making our lives safer and smarter and let's say more helpful for us
Yeah.
as consumers. I'm proud to share this anecdote, right? Recently, in Brazil, our connected car services were able to help us locate, recover, and rescue, let's say, one
Oh.
family.
Okay.
So it was a kidnapped vehicle, and we were able to rescue, or the authorities were able to rescue with the help of our
Oh.
connected car services, a kidnapped mother and son. So this is the power of connected car data, and uh,
Okay.
I'm proud to be part of this group wherein we are basically working on innovations that are making our lives safer and
See.
smarter, and right, and the teams who are dedicatedly working towards bringing these features to life.
No, absolutely. Thanks for sharing that. That opens up so many other questions. So, in one end, the car data is helping you to fetch the information outside. I mean, what is happening. On the other end, it's also connected the IoT, which you mentioned. So it's connected to your fuel. So, could you throw some light? What are your plans to make it more eco-friendly? Because I think that's one of the projects that you are also currently working on. The other day when we spoke, it's the autonomous vehicles and the eco-friendly vehicles, Archana.
So, let me talk about Stellantis approach in this particular direction. So it's a multi-pronged approach. Nageshwari, we are looking at not just one aspect, but looking at multiple aspects of this whole pipeline. So one is basically how you could do the circular economy, how you could
Yeah.
recycle, reuse, remanufacture, and then repurpose some of the
Yeah.
items, some of the parts, and then some of the um, let's say, uh, assets that are required for you to build
Yeah.
a car. So that's one part. Second part is what you could do with respect to the vehicles themselves, right? So
Hmm.
right now we are looking at electrification of these vehicles a big
Okay.
time. We are targeting carbon net zero by 2038.
Okay.
So carbon net zero by 2038 means you really have to put a lot of actions in place. You really have to aggressively pursue this particular goal.
Okay.
So we are looking at how we can bring in battery electrical vehicles,
Okay.
BEV, and plug-in hybrid electric vehicles, PHEV, and
Yeah.
then hybrid electric vehicles, right? So these are some of the areas that Stellantis
What
is
is,
basically,
sorry to interrupt, what is the
yeah.
percentage as of now among the 14 brands? What is the,
Um,
if you have
I
roughly?
yeah, I don't know the exact number, but I think we are aggressively pursuing to basically have more and more electric vehicles in our fleets,
Okay.
and then marching towards that goal that we have put across for us, right? It's basically pretty aggressive goal, but then we are dedicatedly working towards that, right?
Sure.
So this is one, and then we are also partnering with a lot of external stakeholders who can help us achieve this goal. So it's a
Yeah.
multi-pronged approach. We are also looking at in-house how we can um, make sure that our operations, which are there in place, our plants, our manufacturing pipelines, all of them are efficient in order to
Okay.
make sure that we are not really leading to too much carbon footprint while we are
Yeah.
also working towards helping our society and our customers along the lines, right?
No, no, sure, sure, Archana. That is making a lot of sense. And now, so let me go to that. You said that you'll be taking the data. The how you're cleansing and how are you? Because I understand your job is more like repairing an aeroplane when it is still flying, right? So that critical it is. So at one end, correct me if I'm wrong. At one end, you're getting the data from the existing customers, and can you tell us the journey from there? How are you taking the data? How are you working on the data? And again, the digital transformation, data mining, and then how are you interpreting into the fueling it for the AI or the Gen AI thing, Archana?
Sure, Nageshwari. So for that, let me take a step back and maybe peel the layers a little bit more when it comes to
Sure,
Mobili Sites and its business, and I think then we'll be able to take it from there.
absolutely.
So Mobili Sites is basically, like I told, it's a data unit under Stellantis. We are able to harness the power of 14 different brands, over 80 models and millions of vehicles as part of the fleet. We are able to get the data, make use of this data, and be able to seamlessly, obviously with explicit and informed user consent, take
Yeah,
this data to our customers. Now we are into B2B, Nageshwari, so we are
yeah,
always catering to our enterprises who are either fleet management service providers or car rental companies, uh, or organizations who may not necessarily be coming from these domains, but they may be coming from certain other domains. So we are able to serve them using this connected car data. So this is what Mobilisites does. Now, to your question as to what we are doing with respect to the data itself, how
yeah,
are the pipelines looking like?
yeah,
Because we are dealing with huge amount of data. The
yeah,
data is of different types. It's in different shape and format. So how are we making sure that we are able to take this data along with us as part of the same pipeline and serve our customers? So for that, as you could imagine, Stellantis was formed as a result of merger of two different organizations, PSA and Fiat Chrysler Group. So they had a very different way of manufacturing vehicles and different architectures.
yeah,
So the data is definitely not in let's say same format. It's
yeah,
of different format. Not every car is capable of sending the same set of signals, sending the same set of data. So our job is basically to take the data and then harmonize it to ensure that we are able to give that unified
mm,
experience to our customers by harmonizing the data and bringing it to a common format and common um, uh, specification. So that's what we are doing today, and we have a very robust pipeline in place in order to
okay,
extract this data and collect this data from different brands and be able to do this in real time. Even though we
mm,
are dealing with roughly around millions of vehicles as part of the fleet, we are able to do this in real time and also serve our customers with a latency as low as few minutes. So we are able to do that because we are able to harness the power of robust pipelines, um, able to make use of best practices when it comes
mm,
to building pipelines. So that's what we are doing. Now, looking at how we can further take this up and build some insights and actionable actions using this particular data. So for that, what we are trying to do is we are exploring, let's say, another space wherein we can penetrate.
yeah,
That's actually anonymized data products. We are looking at how we can anonymize the data and serve our customers who may not necessarily own our fleets, but they are
yeah,
very interested in looking at the power of this connected car data.
yeah,
I can give you an example.
yeah,
Let's say government of various countries, if they want to understand how they should plan their infrastructure, where and all they
yeah,
should have more charging stations, if they have to enhance the EV adoption rate, they have to rely on the data. They cannot simply just
correct.
go by the hunch. They have to rely on data-driven
Mm,
approaches. So for that, they will have to reach out to OEMs like Stellantis and other OEMs and be
okay,
able to take this data, look at this data and glean some insights for them to make informed decisions. So we are helping them do that by anonymizing the data and also be able to share the relevant signals and data points with them. So this is one part of the play. Second part is, even if we are catering to our B2B telematics service providers and
yeah,
our car rental companies, we are also looking at B2B2C, Nageshwari. And let me double click on this a bit. So
yeah,
let's say you are insurance provider and you want to understand, or rather, let's say as a consumer, you want to understand whether you could be incentivized because of your behavior on the road. So if you're driving, let's say,
okay,
rationally and you're driving, you are following all the rules which are in place, and you would like to see whether you can get some incentives on top of that.
okay,
On the other hand, you would want somebody who may not be driving so rationally to be
yeah,
penalized because not every driver is same, right?
yeah,
Not every driver is behaving in the same fashion on the road, right? So we are able to uh, give this data and serve our customers for them in turn be able to glean these insights
Okay.
and make usage-based insurance very real.
Oh,
So they are
okay.
able to harness the power of this data and be able to serve our customers uh, based on how they are driving. They'll be able to pay the premium accordingly for their insurance. So these are some of the very crucial and very important use cases that we are looking at.
Mm.
But there are many, many use cases, as you could imagine, Nageshwari, and we
No,
can get into the
absolutely.
details.
Absolutely. I was about to ask some other question, but because you have mentioned about B2B, so could you throw more examples about how is this B2B working? I understood B2B2C where you gave an example of insurance. So B2B means the car rentals and fleet.
So, yes, yes. So we are basically serving our enterprise customers who, let's say, for instance, they are telematic service providers
Okay.
or car rental companies. Let's say fleet operations manager would like to know uh, how their fleets are, what is the health,
Mm.
how their drivers are basically using the vehicles, and whether there is any need for them to train their vehicles or maybe um look at their behavior on the road, see if there is a room for an improvement there. All of that they would be able to do if they get hold of this data that is there. So we are able to give them this data and they are able to in turn go look at the vehicle health, look at the
Yeah.
behavior of their drivers and their users on the road and see how their fleets are basically performing so that they can take proactive actions if they need to.
Mm.
So we are able to do that because we are able to serve them. Yes. So
Absolutely.
yeah.
And is it like, okay, you told that, okay, somebody who's monitoring the performance of the drivers, but is it available? If will the data be available also for the customers? For example, if I'm myself using Fiat, right, and I want to monitor my driving skills. So, I mean, can I access to that data? The end consumer, is it possible? I know it may be very
Yes, so there are mobile applications, there are
okay.
applications that we encourage our end users, retail consumers like you and me, to basically make use of. So if your car is connected car, you can certainly be able to see how you are performing, whether you are, how many times within a trip you have, let's say, uh, used harsh acceleration or maybe harsh
Okay.
braking. You would be able to see whether you took a very sharp U-turn or sharp turn for that matter, whether you
Oh.
took a turn but you never changed or never gave an indication of taking a turn or changing a lane. So you would be able to see all these different aspects of your behavior on the road, and you would be able to basically look at the score as well, how
Mm.
economically and how environment friendly you are driving your vehicle. Now that score is going to tell you, okay, whether you are in, let's say, best category or you are in okay category or there is a room for you to improve. We also
Mm.
give some recommendations. So you would be able to see all of this as part of your application. So yes, we take this data and we help our customers to be able to drive their vehicles safely, smartly, and uh, cost effectively, I would say. Yes.
Now, how can I monitor the wear and tear of my car? How, because normally I take it, once in a month to the garage and I check the, the silencer and all those stuff. Is one who is disciplined, who is doing with the ritual and discipline. How about the others who are chilled? Will they be getting any notification? So one side, yes, I'm able to understand that I can monitor my own driving skills, but how do I maintain my car? So is there such
So
applications also?
yes. So you would also be able to monitor your vehicle health. You would be able to see when your next maintenance is due. Is there any malfunction within the vehicle? You would be able to see that. A lot of things are also available as part of your dashboard, Nageshwari.
Okay.
So if you see connected cars, there are multiple sensors which are available, right?
Okay.
And you would be able to get the alerts and flashes and the, let's say, pings as part of either
Okay.
your mobile application or your dashboard. So you would be able to continuously monitor not only your skills on the road, but also how your vehicle is performing on the road. What is the health? Is there any concern? Do I need to take it to a
Yeah.
dealership, right? So all of that you would be able to look at. Yes.
Sure. So the Stellantis, I'm getting more curious now. So Stellantis, the entire parts are manufactured, or you're getting some, you're outsourcing or say purchasing, for example, tires and
So I think, if I'm not wrong, in India, we have the plants that we have.
okay.
Uh, at least Citroen is fully indigenously getting manufactured here, except if it's EV vehicle, the batteries are basically
Yeah.
imported from outside. But other than that, all the parts are getting manufactured here, and the vehicle is getting assembled here. We have three plants, one in Trivallur near Chennai. We
Yeah.
have one in near Pune, Raja Rangam. There is one in Pune, near Pune. And then we have engine manufacturing plant here in Hosur, near Hosur. I mean,
Also,
at the
okay.
outskirts of Bangalore. So
Okay.
these are the three plants we have, and we are able to serve the needs of local community as well as be able to serve our neighboring countries also. So IAP region, we are able to serve to a great extent from the vehicles that we are manufacturing here, if I'm not wrong. But yes, most of the parts are getting manufactured here indigenously, but except few
Okay.
things. Yeah. Yeah.
And it is going global, Archana? From here, are you,
Um,
I mean,
Nearby regions, yes,
okay.
but because we have a global presence, we have put our strategy in place to be able to work out in a hub and spoke kind of manner so that
Yeah.
you have central hubs and central plants and you are catering to the needs of neighboring regions from that
Yeah.
particular plant. So in the similar fashion for the vehicles that are getting manufactured here in India, and then we do have plants in other IIP regions as well.
Hmm.
We are able to serve the needs of our neighboring countries and neighboring regions. Yes.
So from India, which are the countries it is
I
going?
think it's going to Malaysia, if I'm not wrong, and then Indonesia and quite a few other countries as well,
Okay.
Nageshwari. Yeah.
Okay. And what I was going to ask. Uh, so you're saying that primarily all the 90% of the parts are designed indigenously in India.
Yes.
Okay. And some of the parts are you're importing from the headquarters, or it is
No, so we have partners.
okay.
We are working with a lot of partners as well.
Okay.
So sometimes they are coming from our own units. At
Okay.
times we are also collaborating with our partners to be able to procure these assets. Yes.
Which are which are the parts that you're partnering? So if you have any.
I may not have that
Sure,
knowledge,
sure,
right? So
sure.
I'm not sure what are the exact parts that we are basically procuring from our
Yeah,
partners or for that matter from our different units. But I do know that um, most of the vehicles are basically uh, completely done here except few parts here and there. When it comes to battery, battery is definitely not available right here in India, at least not in our plants, and we are basically importing
yeah,
it from outside. So that's
yeah.
one. But I think for ICE vehicles, fuel vehicles, I do not know, right?
Okay.
Which particular parts are basically imported.
Sure, sure, Archana. And I was very curious to know how much time it takes. You're designing it here. And I mean, how much time it takes from the design to road?
Okay. Okay, so physical assets like car, they are very different than let's say our softwares, right? So softwares you can see releases or at least patches and new features pretty much every 2 weeks or so. But for a car, taking it from design to all the way to making it available on the roads is basically quite a few years of journey. So roughly around 3 to 5 years, it takes for a
Oh,
single vehicle to go from design to basically be able to see that vehicle as a tangible object coming out of the factories and be able to use that, right?
yeah,
So it takes a lot of time, and there are complex processes in place.
yeah.
Uh, so you start with design, then you have to look at your manufacturing, and then you have to
Okay.
look at assembly line, then you have to look at the testing. All of
Hmm.
that basically takes a lot of time. So it's a
Hmm.
very long journey, I would say, Ageshwari, and that is why there is no room for you to make mistakes because they
Yeah.
can turn out to be very costly.
Um,
You once you put, let's say, manufacturing in motion, then you really have to make sure that you are able to take care of the quality. You are able to ensure that you are looking at quality aspects from all different angles, so that the vehicle is going to be fully ready for you to be able
Yeah.
to sell and make it available for consumers to use, right? Because if one defect can turn out to be very costly, because then you'll have to again put this defected vehicle in motion
Mm.
throughout this pipeline, and then again
Yeah.
you'll have to perform all these tests, and all of this has to happen again. So basically, this is where we are trying to infuse technologies and um, artificial intelligence to be
Yeah.
able to ensure that our defects are bare minimum, and
Mm.
we are able to ship pretty much all the units that we are manufacturing in the pipeline.
Sure. Now, Ashra, coming to your background, right? You were in the enterprise software and you're in the cloud services. And now, how was the transition for you, Archana? And which is that one AI application that you feel that it can fix, it's a universal AI which can fix any problem, Archana?
Okay, so let me start from the beginning, right? So my journey, I would say it was a joyride. It's been fun. So back then, when I started my journey, I think it was more about storing the data, not really learning from data. That was never the aim, right? Things have changed significantly since then, um, with the advent of cloud, and then sophisticated cloud computing, and then the data that's getting generated pretty much every few seconds, and not to mention mobility data. This is again at another level, right? We are able to generate petabytes of data every hour. So,
Mm.
so all of these things coming together has really opened up a lot of avenues for us to then not simply store the data, but also look at how you could harness the power of this data and let the data help you in turn. And for us at Mobili Sites, data is our product. So you could imagine, back then when I have started my journey, data used to be just lying there, and you used to look at, okay, can we make use of data to see how our business is basically uh, performing, or how we are doing in the market and all of that. We have definitely uh, we are doing that today, but we have definitely added more layers to it to make it more intelligent, to be able to see, okay, if this has happened, what is likely to happen, and if this is likely to happen, what is that I could do in order to take some actions on top of it. So we have come a long way, I would say. And because I started early, I'm able to see that transition happening, and it's like, whatever I've learned along the way, I'm able to put that to use in mobility, connected car data that I'm part of, I would say. Yes.
Yeah, I think you started your journey from IIT and then you started developing applications, computer in CSE, and now data science altogether. I mean, a
Yeah,
steep
so it has
transition.
been a good journey, I would say, and it was organic one. I have organically seen how you used to look at data as a simple means to basically answer some of the business queries, look at your business intelligence, and that's about it. And then now you're looking at how you can put different systems in place that are going to adapt, learn from the data which is there, and be able to take certain actions on top of that data, right? And and then help you in turn uh, become more efficient, be able to harness the power of data and take informed decisions, and then make your business even better. So I have seen this happening in action, and it's pretty cool to see that. And coming to your question as to what is one AI tool that could
Yeah.
really solve, maybe if not all, maybe pretty much every problem. I don't think we have any such tool today. It's a combination of multiple such tools, or maybe multiple such systems that are going to help us in a big way, I would say.
Sure, sure, actually. Now, going back to that, car manufacturing, on an average, do you have any idea how many cars are manufactured out of Stellantis, let's say per quarter in India? I mean,
Uh, to be honest, I don't know. I
okay,
don't
okay,
know. I think I need to check that out.
okay,
Uh,
sure.
I'm not sure how many vehicles we are manufacturing per quarter globally, but the number may be out there in
Okay,
public domain, I
sure.
think.
Sure, maybe let
But
me check and
let
maybe
me let me check
yeah,
that too. Yeah, thank you
absolutely.
for
Uh,
bringing that
sh-
up.
Absolutely. And coming now to your technical leadership, right? What is your mantra for team building? As of now, could you tell what is the team structure at Mobili Sites, and again your dual role, right? At one side, you have to talk to the management, the strategies where they really do not understand. I don't know if the management is from the technical background, they will understand why are you asking for certain requirements. On the other hand, you have to put communicate the business objective to the your engineers, where you always speak about the compute or the technical aspects. So how do you manage that, Archana?
Sure, that's a good one, Nageshwari. So yes, so it's not the same language that you could
Okay.
use when you have to talk to your leadership team or business stakeholders versus when you have to talk to your teams
Hmm.
who are highly technical, who are working on technical pieces. So, and this is where the challenge comes in. So I really look at my audience
Okay.
beforehand so that if I'm talking to my teams and technical audience, then I ensure that I'm able to talk in terms of technical language. And for me, because I come from technical background, it helps.
Yeah.
It helps to a great degree. At the same time, when I'm talking to my leadership team or business stakeholders, um, I look at whether they come from technical background or not. If they are
Okay.
coming from technical background, it becomes easy for me to convey ideas, get a buy-in, because then they are able to understand what it takes to build something, what are the technical challenges one could face, and then they can empathize with us and they are able to understand where we are coming from. But
Yeah.
if they're not technical, then we'll have to really translate that technical subject into more business-oriented subject and then help them understand how it's going to add value, help them
Yeah.
understand why we are doing what we are doing, and how
Yeah.
in turn it's going to benefit us. Either it's going to directly realize the revenue at the end of the day, or it's going to indirectly impact our customer service and then in turn have some kind of impact on revenue. So that's what I try to do. So I try to translate the material into the metrics that are relatable and important for my audience.
Absolutely. Now shifting the gears, Archana, because the audience is primarily the startup founders, and you mentioned so many interesting applications around, eco-friendly, fuel optimizing features of the vehicles, and so many, even during the manufacturing, you said that every process is important so that there is no room for mistake. So, in all these aspects, how are you partnering with the startups, Archana, and if you could share a couple of examples, Archana.
Sure. So I know for sure that Stellantis has got a big let's say, collaboration effort going on in order to partner with startups and partner with um, communities and external researchers who may be
Yeah.
working on certain aspects of, let's say, mobility or automotive industry. So I think couple of months back in June, sometime in June 2025, I think we have concluded one of our awards functions wherein we have awarded eight of the startups that were
Wow.
basically
Okay.
enrolled as part of that or that have nominated. So we were able to award them, recognize their efforts. So there are three areas we are looking at here,
Okay.
whether they are basically doing something in the direction of making the vehicles eco-friendly and environment friendly.
Okay.
So that comes under care. Then we also have something called value. Are you able to harness the power of, let's say, either the physical assets themselves or connected car data? So value is one category they are looking at. And then technology. Are you doing something innovative in the technology front? It
Okay.
could be the software or it could be the hardware or the interplay of both of them,
Okay.
right? So these are the different areas Stellantis is looking at, and they are also supporting different ventures in this domain. They're able to sponsor them. They're
Okay.
also able to, I think, assimilate them if it's going to benefit both the parties, I believe.
Yeah.
So yes, Stellantis is basically collaborating. a lot with
Okay.
startups and different, let's say, mid-size and small size, let's say, industries in this particular space. Yeah.
Okay. Interesting. So you mentioned the three areas where you're currently looking into. So have you already started? Because you said that you give awards also. So is it that the Stellantis within Stellantis you have a team or a unit which is collaborating continuously with the startups and taking their onboarding them, Archana?
Yes. Whatever I talked about was for global Stellantis, Nageshwari, but
Okay.
I think regionally also every unit is trying to do something in this direction. I'm
Okay.
sure.
Okay.
So what they are trying to do is they are trying to see if they can partner with local startups which are available in the local regions. That way, it becomes easier for them to understand the local needs, local market
Yeah.
needs, and all of that, right? So we are doing that.
Okay.
Globally, also as a global unit, we are trying to do that globally as well. But at the same time, region-wise effort is also going on. So there is a dedicated team who is responsible for outreaching to these different startups and vendors and um, looking at avenues for us to collaborate with them and see how we can get benefited from each other's business and also innovations that are happening. Yes.
Okay, very interesting. And could you share a recent partnership if you have done any? Uh,
Um, Locally from India, I am not aware of one, but I think
okay,
recently we have partnered with Leap Motor. We are doing joint venture with them.
okay,
So, but I think in India there are quite a few startups that we are working with.
okay.
Um, Maybe I'm not really aware of the actual names, but I
Sure,
think
no
I can
worry.
put you in touch with the team who is responsible for
Absolutely.
this. Yeah.
Thank you so much. And what are the maybe red flags you have observed partnering with them so that your the people who are watching can make a note of it, Ashta.
Sure, Nageshwari. So I do not really know, to be honest, what is the criteria that Stellantis basically takes, right, when they are trying to evaluate or assess a potential collaborative partner. But I think if I were to look at it from technical and strategic point of view, I would look at quite a few things.
Okay.
So the way technology is evolving and it's evolving at a breakneck speed. I'm
Yeah.
sure we are looking for somebody, or we are looking for partners who are equally agile. They are quick on their feet. They are able to adapt, change course, and then also they are flexible enough to put a few things which are needed for us to customize,
Hmm.
right? Customize assets or let's say physical units per se, right? So somebody who is also technical because we are looking at very complex systems. Our systems are pretty complex because we have an interplay of both hardware and software. So
Yeah.
we need uh, partners and vendors who are technical and they are also very innovative and they are
Okay.
able to also look at the privacy and data
Yeah.
regulatory aspect of it because we are talking about sensitive data. We are talking about uh, let's say end consumers like you and me playing with the vehicle, and then it generates a lot of data which is sensitive in nature. So somebody who is also cognizant of regulatory aspects,
Yeah.
and so that would be helpful. That is actually crucial, right?
Yeah.
So we are looking at somebody who is able to unlearn, learn, and innovate at the same time.
Yeah.
So that would be, I think, my criteria, I would say.
Absolutely. Ashna, I think when we were speaking, you also mentioned that currently even any startups who are working towards the carbon net zero, even those are something that Stellantis is looking at.
Um, Stellantis is looking at carbon net zero, definitely, but
Yeah.
I think we are also looking at vendors who could help us,
Yeah.
support
I
us
mean, yeah,
in
obviously.
achieving this goal,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
So how do they approach Archana if we have any startups who are watching this
yeah.
and who can help you in attaining that carbon net zero? So how do they approach Stellantis? Is there any
I think they could either reach out through social media channels, I believe, right? They could also reach out to our offices, various offices we have in India. We have offices in 4 different locations. We have one in Pune, in Chennai, Hyderabad, and Bangalore.
Okay.
They could also reach out to, let's say, responsible employees on LinkedIn. It's
Okay.
possible.
Yeah, I think
So
LinkedIn
there
is
are
more
different
powerful.
channels. Yes,
Yeah.
yes,
Sure. Sure.
yeah.
Sure. Thanks a lot,
And then
Archana.
I think we do conduct quite a few, let's say, either festivals or
Okay.
let's say seminars. They can also reach out to these channels as well.
Okay.
And they could follow our pages on LinkedIn. So I think you would be able
I
to
think, yeah.
know a lot about various announcements that are made on these channels. Yes.
Okay, okay. Sure, sure, Archana. That's helpful. Now, coming down, the second last question of this podcast, we are heading to the end of the podcast, Archana. Um, if somebody, wants to become like you, other than the startup founders, there are other so aspiring GCC leaders, right? So, what are your everyday routine, Archana, and your journey from IIT to current role must have a lot of lessons learned, right? So if you could throw some light on your everyday ritual, and uh, which are your strong beliefs, and which are even the books or the audiobooks or the blogs or the podcasts that you listen to, how do you always upskill yourself? If you can share something about that,
Sure,
Archana.
Nageshwari. Um, Thank you. This is a good question. Um, I would say being curious is what I have kind of helped me. So being curious is one thing that I've never, let's say, I've always been curious about certain things,
Hmm.
um, and this is important today than ever before, because no matter what you're learning today, no matter what you're working on today, things would change and pretty soon.
Yeah,
So it is important to be curious about what is to come, what is coming new, right? So that you can learn them quickly, because curiosity basically piques your interest, and that is what makes you engage with the subject and with the work that you are doing. So that is important for me, and that has helped me a lot. Mm. Other than that, I'm a book person, I would say. So for me, the source that I'm relying on has to be trustworthy. And believe me, not everything on internet is true. So books are my go-to sources when I have to look at something, and I have to be double sure that I'm actually looking at the reliable source.
okay.
So I basically ensure that I am aware of the books that are relevant for the subject that I'm working on, for the domain that I'm working on. So professionally, that helps me. Personally, also, I am a voracious reader. I read books pretty much on everything, whatever interest interests me at that point in time. So I sometimes I may be reading, let's say, non-fiction. At other times, I may be reading fiction books. One book that maybe I can suggest for your audience, and that may be helpful. So I have recently finished reading Invisible Women by Carolyn. It was one of the
Invisible.
good
Okay.
data-driven books. I think I liked it. So I read books both for my professional journey as well as my personal one. And you have to put in effort to know your subject, because that's when you can understand whether
Hmm.
the actions that you are taking or certain decisions that you are taking are apt and appropriate for the scenario that you are handling or not. Because if you do not know your subject well, then you may not be in a position to factor in different dimensions around it. So it is important to put in effort to know the subject well, so that you are better prepared to be able to look at things that are not so obvious,
Yeah.
but they may, let's say, happen. You can anticipate them, and then you can be better prepared, whether it's for, let's say, building technical solutions, or whether it's managing your different stakeholders, or handling a team, or working with different teams who may be coming from different backgrounds. So that helps. That basically broadens your perspectives, I would say. So curiosity, and then be able to learn, and then rely on reliable sources, so that you know that what you are learning is actually going to stay with you and it's a reliable source, right? It's one single source of truth. So these are the things that are that have kind of helped me, Rangeshwari, in the past. Yes.
Yeah. Sure, Archana. Thanks. With the book, can you repeat the name of the book which you mentioned?
Invisible Women,
Okay.
Invisible Women by Carolyn. I forget her last name.
Okay.
Yeah, so
So
it's one of the
it's a
good books.
it's a
It's a
book.
research come data driven book. It's
Okay.
a non-fiction one.
Non-fictional one for anybody can read or
Any
only.
audience, yes,
Okay.
especially for female leaders.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll check that out once. Sure. And yeah, one last question. One advice to both entrepreneurs and entrepreneurs who are watching this, Archana.
Okay, so I have always been working with an organization
Yeah.
throughout my journey, so I do not know if I can really uh, suggest something for entrepreneurs, but I think like professionals, I think they also have to be
Yeah.
of curious mind. They also have to understand their product or service better, and they also have to understand their market needs, the audiences that they are trying to serve towards, right? And then I think it is important for them because that's when they'll be able to uh, look at the design thinking in a way that helps not only them but also the audiences or the businesses that they plan to serve. So it is important for them also to be curious. And I think it is important to know their products as well. So they should know
Okay.
their products well. They should use them. They
Yeah.
should understand. They should put themselves in customers' shoes and then see what could be the challenges that one may be looking at or one may face when they are trying to use their products or services for that matter, I would say.
Sure. Thanks a lot, Ashna. I thoroughly enjoyed, and every time when I speak to you, I really enjoy with the kind of ideas that you throw. Thank you so much, and I look forward to be in touch with you and also take some of the insights for the book that we are working on the based on like I mentioned when we met earlier. So thank you so much again, Archana. Thanks a lot for taking out time,
Thank
Archana.
you, Nageshwari. I'm happy to share my thoughts and thank you for having me.
Absolutely, Archana.